Hey, how you doing? I've been looking at a lot of these other people on YouTube, and ones that have a lot of subscribers, a lot more than I have. People who've been doing this a few years, who are very popular. And the funny thing is that if you look up these people on various social media, you find legions of people who complain about them. And the main complaint I see is that these people are charging amazing amount. They're basically running coaching businesses, right? And the YouTube channel is basically a big advertisement. What they do is they use Neville Goddard and the law of assumption and law of attraction and all that stuff. And, they talk about it like the way I do, like the way a lot of people do. And, you know, they're good at it. Okay, they're good at it. They're very persuasive, very, I guess, they have charisma, you know, and so they they end up running a coaching business basically, and that's their shtick. And a lot of people fall for this stuff, right? Listen, I'm out here talking about Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy and the law, and I'm sharing a lot of their stuff, and I like to share, my little niche. I like to share the little blurbs and pieces of it, right? Because I like to do it, all right? I don't make my living doing this. It would be great if I could make some mad money off of the YouTube thing, help pay for the channel and my efforts and some of my costs, because there are some costs involved with it, including time. Okay? But I'm not looking to make a living out of this stuff. I have a living, right? I work in the software, the technology industry, business, IT, that type of thing. And that's where my training is, and that's where my career is, and that's where I make money. That's how I earn my living. And so this is like a hobby. It's a passion. It really is a passion. I'm not doing this. This isn't like some BS where I'm blowing smoke up people's butts over the internet. You know, it's not. That's not me, right? I couldn't do this if I didn't really believe in it. Okay, and that when I share these stories about me, I truly believe that this stuff got me whatever I'm talking about. Okay. So it's amazing that these people are running all these coaching things. Now, first of all, you have to understand a lot of these big name YouTubers, they have fake comments. They buy comments. They're all over the various social media, and they buy these comment packages out there. That's number one. Not all their comments are genuine. So don't fall for all of the comments that these people have saying, you're so good and this worked for me and blah, blah, blah. Some of it are genuine comments, but a good portion of them are fake bot comments, okay? And the other thing is, if you look up some of these people on social media, you'll find out that the coaching really doesn't work. All right, you have way more dissatisfied than satisfied people. They run these uh, coaching like groups, like forums on Facebook and other places, and they have people working for them who basically maintain it and act like wardens, right? Like wardens in a jail. And as soon as somebody gets out of line, boom, they're gone. They're gone. So what they have is they have a certain amount of people who are towing the line, or they might be new and excited about it. And the people who have been in there a little bit and are already disillusioned with it are basically kicked out when they complain, right? Now look, it's not a coach's fault, I guess you could say, if manifestation doesn't work for you for whatever reason, right? And that's my big problem with people coaching people in a paid fashion, right? I don't know how this is going to work for you. You are you, right? You are you. And however you do things is however you do things. Like you have your own blocks, your own anxieties, your whatever. Who knows what your path is? Everybody's path is kind of different, right? All you could do is present the information, and then you have to make it work, okay? I can't make it work for you, and neither can these other people. But the big difference here is I'm merely sharing the information, right? You're not paying me. I'm not asking you to pay me, right? If I make anything, it's off of some YouTube ads or maybe some merchandise I'm selling, right? I have links for all that stuff. And if I don't, I don't. Okay? But I'm relying also, I mean, I learned this stuff from people like Neville Goddard. That is the OG, the source of this info, right? Other than, reading the Bible directly and being able to interpret it the way he did. I needed his help for that. I'm not a Bible reader. I'm just not, okay? And it's great that he does that. And again, little plug, if you look at my stuff, there's links for like Neville Goddard's Guide to Scripture, etc., stuff like that. So you just have to be careful out there, and you have to understand that just some of these people are just really great marketers. And I realize that my message is not going to reach, at least at this point in time, isn't going to reach a fraction of the people that their messages are reaching because they got the subscribers and the traction and everything else. My time will maybe come, maybe it won't. Again, I'm not coming at this. I mean, I'm genuine. I'm not coming at this from the point of trying to sell you coaching, right? I don't want to coach people. I don't want that. I mean, that's the farthest thing from my mind. The last thing I want to do is have a bunch of people demanding results based on whatever. I mean, that's just, I'm a firm believer that you have to put the time in with this and that everybody's path to enlightenment can be slightly different and probably will be slightly different, right? What works for this one or that one isn't going to work for that one, but it will work for that one, etc. I mean, there's a lot of factors here. And I'm just telling you straight what it is, and I'm being honest with you. So, yeah, I just wish more people out there would stop falling for the marketing crap, right? For the, I mean, look, I'm not a young, beautiful woman. This here, what you see, I'm not a young, sexy, beautiful woman. A lot of these, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with sexy, beautiful women. I love sexy, beautiful women, but, my point is like, I'm not going to, the way I look isn't going to draw legions of people in based on looks. I mean, the bottom line is you see a beautiful fit woman who looks like a fashion model because she's all done up and everything. I mean, that's pleasing to the eye, more pleasing than this, right? So they've got an advantage right there. And the same thing for the young, buff guys who are doing this. This is media. This is media today. This is why we don't have any good politicians, right? The statesmen of decades past couldn't get elected today because they don't have a certain, soundbite, whatever, that you have to have in a lot of cases. Not that everybody is like that. Everybody who's elected right now is like that. But in modern times, it's sound bites, it's media, it's how you're packaged. It's not substance anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I was reading a lot of this stuff on social media and just floored by it. Floored at, because if you take some of these people at face value, some of their stuff, because they're basically putting forth, information, right? They're basically putting forth information like Neville Goddard, etc., Joseph Murphy. So they're using an established material, right? So they're using this established material and as a front. So of course some of what they're saying is valid, right? It's the stuff. But then they might put their own little twist on it like a lot of people do, like you have to, right? And then they're they're luring people into this whole coaching thing. And, you know, surprise, it's not going to work for everybody. Like, you can't sit there and say, here's this one method or technique, and this is definitely going to work for you because it worked for me. That's what some of these people are saying. And so many people are falling for that crap. And that's what it is, okay? Because you need to search around and look around, right? You need to look around at the various. First, you need to understand the basics, right? And then you look at the various techniques that kind of like approach this material from different directions. And then you try them. You put them into practice. And you may find some people really do well with SATs, SATs, that visualizing before sleep. Other people, like me, aren't as good at that. You end up falling asleep, right? You end up falling asleep. Whereas other people, like me, are better with daydreaming. I've always been a big daydreamer. You know, like vivid daydreams. Sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, wow, while your eyes are open and, and then other people can't do that, right? And then some people are really good at writing things down, like journaling. And that seems to work for them. So to sit here, and some people are great with affirming, okay? All of these things are valid, but they don't necessarily all work for everybody. You need to put the time in and, put the work in to figure out what works for you or what combination of things work for you. And give it some time and be patient. But so many of these people are just out there like, instant gratification, and then a lot of these, I was reading about a lot of this stuff where, especially with the ladies, where with the SP thing. So I was interrupted before, but what I was saying about the ladies with the SP thing is that, they have these big forums on social media and that are hosted by, whatever coach. And, it's to the point where, they're, if they get a text from somebody or some guy they're after gives them sex or something for like it's their friends with benefits, then that's called a big success. Really? Getting a man to give a woman free sex. I'm sorry, but that happens all day long if you're going to allow it. There's a lot of desperate people out there and they allow themselves to be manipulated. And ultimately you're really manipulating yourself because everybody's you pushed out, including the coach. Value yourself a little more than that. If you're into all of that, don't let that version of the coach be the version that you experience. This is a really weird subject because, on the one hand, I'm reading about all these things where people are taken advantage of and they're ripped off and all of this, but on some level, you're allowing it to happen. You're actually causing it to happen, right? Because everybody's you pushed out, including the coach, including that money-hungry coach. So you need to do a deep dive within yourself and really, figure out what you really want, what you really need, and use the various techniques, experiment with them, test them. Just like Neville Goddard said, he said, test it, do it for yourself. He said, don't take my word for it. Put it to the test. Put Paul to the test, St. Paul. The Bible references. That's what you have to do. You have to do the work. You have to put it to the test and figure out what one thing or combination of things you're comfortable with and find your sweet spot, your zone for manifesting. And that's really what it takes. You don't You don't need personal coaches for this, is what I'm trying to say. You don't need it. Neville, Murphy, Banyan is another one. Abdullah. Banyan wrote about Abdullah. This is the stuff that you need. This is the stuff you need to fill your mind with. And then as far as people like me, we're just helping you, guiding you along the way. Maybe explaining things in certain ways to maybe open it up for you. Make it make a little more sense. That's really our purpose. I'm not trying to replace Neville or be the next Neville. That's ridiculous, right? They laid the groundwork. We're out here spreading it, and because we found that it works for us. So of course, it'd be kind of cool for more people to experience some of those miracles. So I'm saying this in all genuineness, right? Uh, no ulterior motives here. You know, I'll probably only get about 30 views on this video, you know? So please like my stuff so that other people see it, right? I need more than 6 likes on something like this so that other people see it and they get more of this kind of content, at least to kind of give them a little kick in the pants and to really soul search and, look at the right material and not fall for a bunch of crap. All right. Thank you. See you later.